All right, Shalom Yasharahla. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Gakadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and salutation to you, Akyam, or just pushing the truth in love, sincerity, and in charity with all humility. Okay, this is the brother Yashawan from the GMS Mama's Camp. Back at here with another Monday Night Live through the power and spirit of Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai. Okay, so yeah, man, you've seen the title. The title, Cease Not to Warn, Cease Not to Teach. Okay, cease not to warn, cease not to teach. Okay, this is going to be a lesson that inspired by a brother, an elder, I think out of the Chicago camp. Okay, that posts a 3-minute video, getting on Akim. Okay, who not doing their lessons, who not doing their videos. Okay, who showing up the camp. And when you check their pages, they haven't done a video within 3 weeks, 4 weeks. Okay, for brothers them who you basically have to rebind to do their duties in this truth. Okay, but mainly this is going to be cease not to teach, cease not to warn. Okay, so when you look at Acts chapter 20 and 31 and Acts chapter 5 and 42, so there's consistency in the works of Yahweh Shemiyah Shai. Okay, the apostles and Paul did not treat the truth as a part-time, okay, a part-time duty. What they did, they warned, they taught, and they preached continually. Okay, they preached continually. They was consistent. Okay, they didn't preach or teach this camp, and then a whole week they just chill and do whatever and wait for Easter. And then when camp come again, then they teach again. They was consistent, daily, weekly. Okay. So let's get Acts chapter 20 and verse 31. All right. Say, therefore, watch and remember that by the space of 3 years I cease. This is Paul speaking. I cease not to warn everyone night and day with tears. Okay. Paul says he ceased not to teach. Okay. All right. He ceased not to teach. Okay. He ceased not to warn everyone night and day with tears. All right. Paul was not merely teaching doctrine, but he was basically warning the flock about what? Deception, Decepticons, and all that. He's warning you about false prophets. He's warning you about false teachers. Okay, and giving you the consequences of sin. This is what Paul was doing. Okay, and we, our prophets, are called into that same stead to give you warning, to warn you about false teachers, about false prophets, false pastors, and to give you the consequences of sin. Because if you keep on sinning and sinning and sinning, then that become iniquity. And then when your iniquity have become full and reach heaven, then the Lord will make judgment upon you. But many of our people, they don't understand that. Because why? They gravitate to a lie which they made into the truth. Okay, so when they hear the truth sounds like a lie to them. So Paul said he taught this thing, and he warned these people with tears, all right, showing compassion, showing his sincere concern for his people, for his brothers and sisters. Okay, you know, like if you have a brother, all right, let's say a blood brother, your family or your cousin or whatever, and you know that the truth resonated with them. They know it, right? But they're still living in a lie, and you want them, you know, to change so bad. Like as a do when you first came in, you want all your brothers and sisters, your family to be saved. You want them to come into the truth, to know the knowledge of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, to wake up, okay? And you being compassionate about it, all right? And they still reject, all right? But that's okay, okay? Let's get Acts 5 and 42. Now we can hear what Peter and the apostles them said, okay? This is Acts 5 and 42. And daily in the temple and in every house, they cease not to teach and preach Yahweh Shai Mashiach, which is this word. Okay? So the apostles preach every day despite persecution. And that's what we do. We teach this truth daily. Okay? Some of us, we may not put up videos daily. All right? For the most part, we are consistent. Okay? Whether we put up 2 videos a week, 3 videos, and plus Qam, we consistent with it. Okay? So this is also to direct it to Qam who are not consistent. Okay? Who are not devoted. You have to be devoted in order to be consistent. All right? Be devoted in order to be consistent. Okay? So the apostles preached every day despite persecution. And what in our class a little earlier, all right, we went into an article dealing with over there in Canada, how they demon certain scriptures or the words of Yahweh Shem Yahushai as hate speech. So now the brothers them over there, they gotta be basically know what to say when certain people are on. Okay, otherwise they will be persecuted for saying for calling out some wickedness on some people that may be walking past. Okay, all right. But Yahweh Shem Yahushai, okay, his angels encamped around them. All right. So they were not discouraged, Peter and the apostles, they were not discouraged by opposition because they understood the importance of spreading the truth. So us, in these times, we have to be so, not discouraged, but do the will of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Don't mind that when you put up a video that you'll get a 0 view in 3 days, 4 days. Don't mind that. Because the Heavenly Father and the whole host of angels have seen it and heard it. That should be enough to motivate you. Okay? So the servants of Yahweh Shem Yahushai must not become weary in teaching, must not become weary in warning and exhorting. Whether people hear or refuse to hear, the responsibility remains. Okay? Because this one ain't watch your video, that one ain't watch your video, you ain't get no views on your lesson, you become discouraged, man, in a body watching me. No. Okay, the angels are watching, the Lord is watching. Okay, I have videos on my page now, 0 view, months. Okay, my first page, I had Yashawan, Ban Yashiala, over 1,100 subscribers. And ever since I get the page back, every video I put up, well, most of them had like 1 and 2 views. Some have 0 views, but that ain't stop me. I still continue putting up videos. You go and check my page right now, Yashawan Ban Yashiala. Okay, that ain't discourage me. Why? Because I devoted myself to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai in doing His will, in doing the works. Therefore, I shall be consistent. Okay, let's get Ezekiel chapter 3. All right, we get Ezekiel chapter 3. Okay, but before we get Ezekiel chapter 3, let's get okay, let's get Ezekiel chapter 2 and verse 3. They say, whether they will hear or whether they will forbear, for they are a rebellious house. Yet shall know that there had been a prophet among them. The point being, whether they hear or whether they forbear, we must continue the responsibility that we have, which is to preach, which is to teach, which is to warn, and which is to exhort. Okay? So the Lord said, what? Give them warning from Him. Ezekiel chapter 3 and 17. Son of man, I have made thee a watchman. So us, we is watchmen for Yahweh Shem Yahushai, unto the house of Israel. Therefore, hear the word of my mouth, and give them warning from me. When I say unto the wicked, thou shalt surely die, and thou givest him not warning, nor speakest to warn the wicked from his wicked way, to save his life, the same wicked man shall die in his iniquity, but his blood will I require at thy hand. So we don't want no blood to be on our hands. This is why we got to be devoted and be consistent. But preaching, teaching, and giving warning. Okay? Because if you have 100% truth, why are you not warning? All week you're not warning. 3 weeks you're not warning. 4 weeks. Okay, you go on some brother's page, 9 months, 10 months, not warning, not teaching. Okay, you go check them out. Over a year and a half, not warning, not teaching. Only on Qam day you could warn. All right, but what about through the week? Okay, what you done? You sleeping? All right. So Lord say, His blood I will require at thy hand. Okay, so the watchman duty is to do what? Is to warn. Okay, silence can make one accountable. Okay, let's get 2 Timothy chapter 4 and 2. Okay, this is 2 Timothy chapter 4 and verse 2. Preach the word, be instant in season, out of season, reprove, rebuke, exhort with all long suffering and doctrine, which is teaching. So preach the word. Okay, rebuke, teach, rebuke, reprove. Okay, in all seasons, meaning be consistent, be devoted. All right. So this is the same spirit Paul showed in Acts chapter 20, and the same spirit the apostles showed in Acts chapter 5. All right, and we as prophets today have to be in the same stead. All right, so all of us who are not being devoted and being consistent, okay, we need to get up, stop laying down, okay, and show the Lord that like you working for Him. You can't show the man will fail you. You gotta prove to the Lord that this is what you want to do. You gotta prove to the Lord that you are His servant. You can do His will. You can't go up on Esau job, busting your hip, working day and night all week, and show the Lord nothing, no compassion for the Lord. Okay, no honor. But on Saturday or Friday, whenever you go out, that one day of the week, then you can say, and then you giving the Lord not even flicking 2 hours. Some even giving the Lord 1 hour. All right, or the whole flicking 24 hours. Okay, so in this thing, you gotta strive for the truth. As Sirach 4:28, strive for the truth unto death, and the Lord shall fight for thee. The truth must be defended and proclaimed continuously, regardless of opposition. Okay, you gotta be in this thing. You gotta be fighting. You gotta preach this thing in season and out season. Okay, let's get to Sirach chapter 18 and verse 13. It says, the mercy of man is toward his neighbor, but the mercy of Yahweh Shem Yahushai is upon all flesh. He reprove it and nurture it and teach it and bring it again as a shepherd his flock. Okay, so part of the Mosai's correction, part of the Mosai mercy is correction. Okay, so our job is to warn, reprove, teach, correct, exhort. This is the part of our works. So if you ain't doing those things through the week, then what you doing? You working, giving Esau all your time and giving the Lord crumbs. Okay, you can't be saying, but use the prophet, use the wake of the Lord. Okay, so part, like I say, part of the Most High mercy is correction. Therefore, warning people is an act of love and not hatred. And this is something we all preach it and teach. It's all love. Okay, because we see people heading in the wrong direction. We see them walking in the fire one by one. All we doing is warning them, look, you don't go in the fire. We see the blind leading the blind, and they all falling in the ditch. And what we do, we warning them from not, man, look, you don't go that way. Stop right here. Get the 100% truth. Get your eyes be open. Follow Yahweh Shem Yahushai. And it's all love we showing you, so that your life may be saved. Okay? Let's get 2nd Address chapter 16 and verse 40. All right? 2nd Address 16 and 40. Say, O my people, hear my word. Make you ready to the battle, and in those evils must be even as pilgrims upon the earth. So just as Paul warned day and night, the servants of Yahweh Shem Yahushai are commanded to prepare the people for what's coming. So how could you prepare the people for what's coming When you check your page, you only put up a video in 3 weeks. When you go to camp, you can't remember which precept. When you go to camp, you're not interacting. Okay? How could you give somebody warning when you ain't have no warning on your page? How could you teach somebody something when you haven't no videos showing your teaching? How could you reprove somebody when you have not a piece of reproof video on your page? Okay? So just as Paul warned day and night, like I said, the servant of Yahweh Shem Yahweh commanded to prepare the people for what's coming. Okay, and when you look at it today, many people want encouragement but reject correction. All right, many of our people want encouragement, but when correction is being made, oh boy, bushcraft man gone. They ain't want to hear that. They ain't want to hear that. Okay, for instance, if you tell them stop eating pork, they don't want you to stop eating pork. If you tell them stop committing adultery, they don't want to hear that. You know what they say? Sin sweet. Okay? So yet the scripture shows that true ministers, okay, do both, which is we encourage and then we correct. Okay? So when you look at Acts 20 and 31, we go into warn the people, and Acts 5 and 42, we teach the people. Okay, 2 Timothy 4 and 2, it speaks about reprove and exhort. And so Rock 4 and 28 says strive for the truth. So a teacher who never warn is incomplete. So you can't be saying you're a prophet that teaching this word, that rightly divine this word, when you're not giving no warning, when you're not giving no teaching, when you're sleeping all the time, when you're being a sluggard. You can't be a teacher. You can't be a watchman. Okay? The apostles did both daily without ceasing. Okay, what they do? They taught, they won. Same thing as Paul. He taught and won. Reprove, correct, exhort. We ain't no different. And right now, this is a reproof. This is an exhortation. Okay? Let's get Galatians chapter 6 and verse 9. All right? We can end it off there. Okay? This is the book of Galatians chapter 6 and verse 9. And let us be not weary in well doing, for in due season we will reap if we faint not. Okay? So just as Paul warned for tests and the apostle preached daily, those who labor in the words of Yahweh Shem Yahushai must continue faithfully. Okay? What they must continue faithfully? Ceasing not to teach, and ceasing not to warn, and ceasing not to stand for the truth. Because if you sleeping and you ain't doing the work, you ain't really standing for the truth. Because you ain't showing it by your works. Faith is dead without works. So how could you say you warning the people, and when you check your page, you have no videos in 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, 3 weeks? You're not devoted. You're not warning the people. Okay? You got to be consistent. The apostle Taha, all right, he deemed you do 3 videos a week. Okay? 3 videos a week. All right? But we ain't consistent with 3 videos. Now some brothers, All right. The Lord put a more uh, heavier spirit on them that they could do videos every day. Some brothers could do a video, 2 videos every week, 3 videos every week, along with their camp. And they consistent with that. That's how we have to be. Consistent. Okay? So yeah, man. So hey, with that, I hope this lesson was edified. I'd like to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahasham Yahushai, Bahasham Magan Kudash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and salutation to you, Akia, for just pushing truth in love, sincerity, and in charity with all humility. Okay, Shalom and the Bible Paul, Qam Yasharahla.